Magandang araw sa ating lahat. Narito na naman ang inyong instructor for the Angin na nagbibigay sa inyo ng ating lectures ang ngayong umaga o ngayong araw na patungkol sa tinatawag nating nasyonalismo. Ano nga ba ang tinatawag na nasyonalismo at kailan ito nagsimula sa bansang Pilipinas? Ano nga ba ang tinatawag na nasyonalismo at paano nagkaroon ng nasyonalismo sa bansang Pilipinas? Ayon kay Claro M. Recto Jr., nationalism is nourished by a sense of history and that the essence to know profoundly the past will enable us to complete openness with the men who made that history and in intimate communion with their thoughts. So, ibig sabihin, ang nasyonalismo sa bansang Pilipinas ay resulta or consequence ng mga nangyari noong unang panahon na tayo ay hindi pa ipinanganak. Na panahon na ang mga ninuno pa lang natin ang nakaranas. Ito ay isang ideya ni Claro M. Recto na kailangan tayo upang malaman natin or ma-appreciate natin ang mga tinatamasa natin sa panahon ngayon ay dapat lang na ating balikan. Let us recall, familiarize, okay, and put in heart those things, important events that happened in the past, which brings us the unity and peace that we are already experiencing now. Okay. Ang kalayaan natin sa bansang Pilipinas ngayon na ating tinatamasa, ang ekonomiya na ating ginagalawan, ang sosyedad na ating kinalakhan, ay nanggaling yan sa mga panahon ng ating mga ninuno. And this Filipino nationalism actually started noong 1800s. Okay? Dito unang nagkaroon ng feelings of patriotism and nationalistic ideals ang mga Pilipino. Tandaan natin, noong unang panahon, bago pa ang mga Espanyol ay sinakop ang bansang Pilipinas, ang bansang Pilipinas ay meron na tayong tinatawag na political system. Subalit itong pagkakaroon ng political system ay hindi alam ng ating mga ninuno. Why? There is already a political system even before or prior to the existence or to the colonization of the Spaniards in the Philippines. What is the manifestation or papaano natin nasabi to? What are our proof or evidences? The existence of tinatawag nating political units or yung mga maliliit nating komunidad noon. Okay? Na binubuo ng grupo ng mga tao na merong iisang adhikain, iisang paniniwala, and those who had shared the same language, interest, at meron sila tinatawag na leader. Nang tawag nila ay datu, raha, sultan. Okay. These leaders are political leaders. And each of them had their own authority over the members of that political community. So, meron na tayong mga dato nun, meron na tayong mga komunidad. Okay? Although these communities are small groups, okay, scattered all over the island. So, marami yan. Okay? So, kapag pumunta ka dito sa barangay siguro natin ngayon na tinatawag, iba ang leader kagaya ng barangay chairman. So, pagpunta mo sa ibang lugar na naman, iba na naman ang kanilang leader. What is absent during that time was a single political unit. There was no such thing as national government that regulates the acts of these political leaders. Okay? These sultans and datos, they only act according to their will, according to the rules that they set on their particular community. Okay? Pero kung ang tinatawag natin yung single political unit such as national government that would direct the acts of these members of the community and the acts of the leaders of that community, wala tayong tinatawag na ganoon. Okay? So what is important thing is that prior to their colonization, we already have what we call a political system. Okay? And that is through the balangays or the barangays. Well, balangays are Malayan terms, okay? And these are a term, I should say, that talks about or refers to the Malayan ships. Ito kasi yung ginagamit natin to travel from one place or one island to another island before. Okay? The means of transportation are through vintas, balangays, okay, yung small boats, so that we could go from one island to another island. Okay? So, etong tawag nila sa mga small boats na to, balangays. That is why, well, this was discussed in your history already. Just a reminder na yung mga balangays datin doon ay hindi motorized katulad ngayon kasi wala pa namang invention on motor boats dati. Okay, so yan, sinasagwan natin yung mga balangays na yan. But that is how we trade our products before, and that is how we transport, I should say, people and our products during that time. Not only that, before or prior to the existence or colonization of the Spaniards, we already have our own enemies. Meron na rin tayong mga kalaban na gustong sakupin, or those people who tried to disrupt or disturb the peace and order in our community. Ito yung mga tao na tinatawag nating Portuguese, mga taong galing sa Portugal, okay, bansang Portugal. They were considered as the first pirates of the sea, first pirates of the ocean. Okay? And they always come to the Philippines and then extort because they are taking our products, our properties without permission, and sometimes by force. Okay? So, nung pagdating ni Miguel Lopez de Legazpi sa bansang Pilipinas, okay, together with supported with Magellan, bago dumating si Magellan at saka si Miguel Lopez de Legazpi sa bansang Pilipinas, meron na tayong kalaban ang mga Portuguese. Okay? And it is the first time that we repose our trust to the Spaniards. Ang unang-unang pagkakataon na pinagkatiwalaan natin ang mga Espanyol ay nung mga panahong tinulungan tayo ni Miguel Lopez de Legazpi at ni Magellan to drive away our enemies who are the Portuguese. Tinulungan tayo para kalabanin ang mga pirates of the sea. Okay? Kaya nung tinulungan natin also ang notion ng mga inisip ng mga ancient Filipino people na pwede nating pagkatiwalaan ng mga to, siguro malinis ang kanilang mahangarin sa pagpunta sa ating bansa sapagkat tinulungan nila tayo para kalabanin ang mga taong nang aabuso sa ating bansa. Okay? Ang ating place. Yan yung notion nila. That is why that was the first time that the Filipinos repose trust to the Spaniards. And of course, we have to emphasize that the Spaniards actually did not come to the Philippines primarily to colonize us. Hindi naman pananakop ang unang-unang intensyon ng mga Espanyol nung dumating sa bansang Pilipinas. Instead, it is for the fact that they are just looking for spices. So, sa bansa kasi nila, mahilig sila sa tinatawag nating ingredients kapag nagluluto. And it's just so happened that these ingredients are no longer abundant in their place. So, nagkakaroon ng shortage of supplies on spices. That is why the King of Spain, okay, commanded or ordered his people to look for other countries who can supply the spices that they need. It just so happened that Magellan and Miguel Lopez de Legazpi was able to land in the Philippine Islands, and they were able to note that the island is rich on those spices that they were looking for. So that made them stay longer in the Philippines. Nakita nila na it has a potential to produce, to supply the things that they need in their country. So they reported it to the King of Spain, and the King of Spain said, okay, sakupin na ninyo yan. So, but they were being discreet. Okay? So, marami silang estratehiya upang sa ganoon ay hindi mahahalata ng mga Pinoy na sinasakop na sila. So, what they did was to colonize the Philippines in the guise of introducing what we call Christianity. Ang ginawa nila, pinadala niya si Magellan to introduce Christianity to the Philippines. Upang sa ganoon, sabi nila ay magkaroon naman ng isang single political unit ang bansang Pilipinas dahil napansin nga nila na watak-watak ang mga tao sa bansang Pilipinas. They were scattered all over the places and each of these communities have their own leaders. So ang gusto nilang mangyari, magkaroon ng national government that would control, okay, one single political unit in this particular island. So nagkaroon na tayo ng tinatawag na gobernadorcillo. Okay? Meron tayong pueblo. Yan. Diyan yung mga term na mga Spanish terms lumalabas na mga ganyan. Okay? Kasi they were able to establish already a single political unit at naging colony na tayo ng bansang Espanya. Okay? So, being a colony of the Spain, ang tawag natin sa mga Espanyol, okay, by blood, na pinanganak sa bansang Pilipinas, ay Filipinos also. Okay? Why? Because considering the fact that the Philippines during the time is a colony of Spain, then we are part of Spain. It means we are part of the country of Spain. So ang tawag din in return sa mga Pilipino dati, okay, nung mga panahon na yon ay also Spaniards. They are called Creoles, Peninsulars. Okay? So dito lumalabas yung tinatawag nating Croilos. Okay? Spanish Croilos or Creoles. These are the Spaniards by blood were born in the Philippines, okay, and the Filipinos, okay, who were born during the time that the Philippines is under the colony of Spain. Okay? Actually, wag nating i-emphasize lang, class, to be fair to the other party. We do not only emphasize here that during the Spaniards, okay, it's only the abuse and the disadvantages of their colonization. Okay? We also have to look into the positive side of that particular colonization. Ano ba? Meron bang dinulot na maganda sa atin ang pananakop ng bansang Espanya o wala? Kalimitan, pag nagdi-discuss sa loob ng klase, the most things, okay, na ini-emphasize ng mga instructors or any speaker, okay, is the negative side. Ano ba ang dinulot na hindi maganda ng mga Espanyol? The abuses, okay? Ay yung maltreatment of the Filipino people, the impartiality, the treatment, okay, the ill treatment among the Filipinos, na kapag Pilipino ka, lesser ang ibinibigay sa'yo ng opportunity, and kapag Espanyol ka, lahat ng opportunity nasa iyo. Just like what they did to the family of the Mercado family or Dr. Jose Rizal's family. Okay? So, yun lagi ang ini-emphasize, mas lalo na kapag ang subject is life and works of Rizal. Okay? But I would like to be fair in discussing, we should not only emphasize these things, but we also should have to look into the positive side. Okay? Whether we like it or not, it is a fact that before the Spaniards colonize us, we do not know how to trade. Ang mga produkto natin, kinukonsume lang natin ng mga Pilipino lang. Walang ibang nagko-consume yun, kundi ang mga Pinoy lang, at saka yung mga Portuguese na nag-e-extort or kumukuha ng hindi nagpapaalam sa ating mga produkto. Other than that, we patronize our own product, and we do not have the chance to get a hold of other products from other countries. Wala tayong tinatawag na trading nung unang panahon. Okay, na hindi pa tayo sinasakop. Illiteracy. Illiteracy is rampant during that time. Okay? Well, we have our own alibata, our baybayin. We have our own language. Okay? As to the system of writing, we have what we call these carvings and stones and trees, bark of trees. But the fact is, proper education, we do not have that. Okay? We do not have that. Another one, most of the Filipinos or ancient Filipinos during the time, prior to colonization, are pagans. They are the ones who practice or who believe in the power of the sun, the power of the moon, the power of the cosmic views. those who have cosmic views. We believe in animism. Okay? So, each political unit or each unit, each community during the time prior to colonization have their own belief. A paganism. Okay? So, these are three important factors that had been introduced to us by our colonizers. So, with that particular aspect, we have to thank our colonizers because without them, we do not know how to trade. It is during the Spaniards class that galleon trade was being introduced in the Philippines. Noong panahon nila, nagkaroon tayo ng galleon trade. Nakikipagpalitan na tayo ng mga tinatawag nating produkto mula sa ating bansa sa iba't ibang bansa. So, if you were not, or if galleon trade is not known to you, ganito yan, for you to be informed sa mga hindi nakakaalam. Okay? Ang galleon trade, ito yung pakikipagpalitan natin ng produkto sa ibang bansa sa loob ng isang malaking barko. Okay? Yung barko na yan, kasi I told you that the means of transportation during those times are by ships, by sea. Okay? Balangay ang pag short hours lang, pero kapag malayuan na, yun yung ginagamit nila yung barko. So, ang ginagawa nila from other countries, yung mga produkto nila from other countries nilalagay sa barko and they ship that, go to the Philippines. Pagdating ng barko dyan, hindi nila ibababa ang kanilang produkto. It is us who is going to go inside that particular ship and buy things and sell our product. So, boat per boat ang pagte-trade sa buy and sell sa galleon trade na tinatawag. So, that's the only time that we started to know the value of our golds. That's the time that we learn already that our products, our root crops, can be sold, can be exchanged into something else which we do not have prior to decolonization. That's one of the advantage. Next one, education. Well, marami na tayo noon. Nagsusulat na ang ating mga, nagdrawing na sila ang ating mga ninuno. Pero as to the proper or formal education, we do not have that. It's only the time of the colonization of the Spaniards that these formal education were introduced. Kaya na meron ng nakapag-aral sa Dr. Jose Rizal dahil dyan. Dahil nag-introduce sila through the Dominican friars. Okay? Sino mga teacher noon? Mga Dominican friars, mean to say the priest. Sila as missionaries came to the Philippines and educate us on how to read newspapers, how to write letters. Diyan tayo nagsimula. That is why our first Bible are written in Latin. Our first newspapers are written in Spanish. Even the works of Dr. Jose Rizal are even written in what we call the Spanish language. Why? Because it is their language that they introduce to us, educate us on how to read and how to write. And the third and most important introduction to the Philippines is having a unified religion. Ito yung tinatawag nating Christianity. It was introduced before, so nabawasan yung number of pagan sa bansang Pilipinas nang dahil sa pag-i-introduce ng mga Espanyol ng tinatawag nating Christianity. It is only by the time na tumagal na yung bansang Pilipinas under the colony of the Spaniards, that the Spaniards authorities who were assigned to take charge or to manage the government in the Philippines, that abuses and maltreatment came into existence. Actually, hindi naman sinabi ni King Philip II dati na punta kayo doon sa Pilipinas, sakupin nyo at i-abuse nyo yung mga tao doon. No. He assigned or he sent troops as officers to run the government, the colony, in the Philippines. It just so happened that these officers being sent to the Philippines abused their authority. Kasi di naman nakikita sila ni King Philip at nagbabase lang si King Philip sa mga report. So kung maganda ang report ng mga Spanish authorities, yun ang paniniwalaan ni King Philip. So it is the Spanish authorities who were assigned to the Philippines that already done or have done those ill treatments sa mga Pinoy, sa mga ancient Filipinos. And when this abuse and maltreatment had become rampant, that already triggers the nationalistic and patriotic spirits of the Filipinos. Okay? Doon nagsimula na mayanig at mag-unite ang mga Pilipino. Nagising sila sa katotohanan na sila ay hindi talaga Espanyol, kundi mga Pinoy. In that way, nagkaisa sila. Nag-start na silang magkaisa para i-introduce or ihain sa gobyerno ng Espanya ng mga Pilipino ay gusto ng tinatawag nating reforma. Hindi naman tayo bumibitaw bilang colony ng Spain during that time. We only wanted that there must be a reform on the national government run by these Spaniards in the Philippines. We want them to give more opportunities to the Filipinos. We want them to treat Filipinos alike the Spaniards, the true blood Spaniards. Okay? And we want them to also give us some of the political authorities, political seats, so that we may also run our own government. So, yun lang ang gusto nating mangyari nun. And the reformation, itong movement na ito, okay, this was already started the time that of Rizal, time of Haina, the time of the Del Pilar, okay, dyan na nagkaroon, yun na yun yung tawag nating propagandizing. Propagandizing is an act of distributing or spreading, okay, an opinion as to matters of reformation. Ito yung trabahong na i-inform mo yung kasama mo about doon sa idea ng reforma, pagre-reforma. That is what we call propagandizing. And yung binuo nila na group is we call the propaganda movement. It is a movement, okay, that aims to educate, okay, that aims to inform every Filipino people, okay, that we need to unite, okay, in order for the Spanish government to reform their ways in administering the colony. Okay? Yun yung tinatawag nating propagandizing. That is the first step. Okay? Those were the first step that nationalism came or emerged into the Philippines. That is all for this video, and I hope that you're going to subscribe on my channel, hit the like, and share it to your other students that would be benefited with this video. Thank you very much and have a good day.